I'm dumb. I apparently hit the physical mic mute button right before I hit the start streaming button. Very, very clever of me. Um, this week is going to be slightly different in that I have actual plans for Wednesday. I think for the immediate future, we're going to be doing Messenger on Wednesday. Once we finish up with SaGa Frontier, MS SaGa is going to take over that Friday spot, and Messenger is probably going to move to Monday, and that'll leave me with Wednesday and Thursday trying to figure out what to do. Assuming, of course, that I don't get tired of Messenger in the however long it takes me to do the initial stream. So, I should open up a page to actually remind myself to do that. Yeah, doing it live. And I should probably switch this over to BizHawk. Now, one of the things I have up is a handful of art from, I think it's Tomomi Kobayashi. I believe she is that's the name of the official artist for most of the SaGa series. Or at least the SaGa Frontier games. I don't know how early she got on. I know that she was still the official artist for when Minstrel Song came out. But this is, of course, Gus and Leslie. This is her version of Kelvin. And I think it's just, it's good to see that, some of the official stuff, yes, it is still very Japanese. The watercolor styling especially tends to suggest that it's Japanese in origin. But a lot of the proportions, this is Rich, Diana, and Julia, a lot of the proportions are more Western style. The eyes, especially, are not oversized the way anime eyes tend to be. This, though, is very Berserkin style. This is supposed to be the false Gustav and Sargon. And this is not actually an official piece of art. This was done after SaGa Frontier 2 was released. This is one of the pieces that I was thinking of when I mentioned that I do not particularly care for the way that Ginny ends up looking in a lot of the art. This one is fine. A lot of the other official pieces put out by Square, not put out by Kobayashi, are, one, they don't have the bags and such, and two, they tend to replace her shorts with a skirt, which just, it's not functional, and it doesn't fit the character. This is, of course, Gus on the right, Roberto on the left. And this is probably supposed to be pretty much the, initial scene where we meet both of them. This is what they were doing immediately prior to Roberto coming over to try to rescue Ginny and Primera. And this is actually the 4 non-Knights characters for the final chapter. Now, we have seen, but we're not introduced to the character in the bottom right. That's Mathia. I mentioned her name when we saw her. Gus is, of course, in the top right with his ridiculous hair, and those are his swords at the bottom. Roberto is at the bottom left. And of course, Primera is in the top left. Primera looking like, for all the world, another Cody, which, well, we can hope that that's how she turns out. One thing that I do recall Tomomi saying is that, and I have to go answer that real quick. is that Gustav was originally supposed to have hair more similar to Gustav the Steel. The problem is the transition from art to pixel art meant that there would not be a huge difference visually between the character aesthetic of Roberto and Gustav. And thus, it was seen as, well, okay, we need to give him some type of unique hair. And they had, I believe they had already done up the pixel art for Roberto. And of course, it's one of those things where, well, you know, would it have really stood out if he had, you know, just kind of stylized longer hair like Gus? And, well, you know, Roberto kind of looks like he has a mullet at times. So I can understand their concern. Now there's going to be a fair amount of crap in the piles we get. I also don't fully remember what directions we've gone, what directions we haven't gone. This is the one and only area to really get a good chance at getting Titus Greaves. We'll try to get some. It's not really a huge deal if we do or don't. Of course, right now I'm focused mostly on doing hybrid arts because that's some of our most efficient methods of attacking. Both higher damage and with sword especially, having a bit of AoE. Gus is pulling an odd one. I seem to recall he actually got a decent number of sword levels last time, too. Roberto is actually doing fairly normal. I've always had really good luck with Roberto's levels. He also might end up being the first one of the group to crack 500 HP. I've always just had a lot of luck with him getting levels. And Ginny's HP is doing okay. Like I said, I don't remember fully where all we've gone. I think I am going backwards right now. I can't remember if it was the top right or top left we originally entered this screen from. One thing I will eventually want to grab is it's a tone and flame attack. And the reason I will want to grab it, and the person I will realistically want to grab it on, is Gus. Reason being that tone and flame provide the best opportunity for Gus to learn Solheim. Gus really being the only person who can learn Solheim. Yeah, we have flame. We have plenty of flame. We have plenty of tree. We just need tone. And oddly, we do not have... Do we actually not have a spare tone quell? I mean, I know they're fairly uncommon. I think there's one somewhere in this dungeon. but I don't fully recall all of the items here. Hold up. Yeah, it might be towards the end. Also, I'm pretty sure that we are, in fact, going backwards here. I seem to recall going through this part before, but that's fine. The enemies that occasionally pop up when you're fighting the ant commanders, which are not going to be these guys, focusing on the ant commander first because they are the only real danger. The enemies that occasionally pop up with ant commanders, I think it's ant commanders in team battles, are the enemies that have a chance at dropping the tightest greaves. Also, this could end up being bad, depending upon... Okay, she went first, that's fine. And the twin dragon might kill the ant. Yeah. But we're actually getting a lot of sword levels, relative to what I would say normal is. This is a place we've already... Nope. Okay, so this is the well I was looking for. And we already have flame, so... It's good for chipping. And the silver chain seems like it should be good. I'll show it off real quick. Resist Sonic, and it's steel. But, almost everybody's gonna want a steel weapon. You don't have the SP on equipment. Holy crap, it's a lot of fucking slimes. You don't have the SP on equipment to make a steel weapon and steel armor viable. The way it is. And I think based off where I was having people attack, Ginny would end up being the last. As I mentioned a few times with Cody, a lot of the value of spears just ends up being the fact that they have very powerful, inexpensive arts. The hybrid arts especially. And since I have the stuff to do, to try to pick up Sonic Burner, I'm going to try... Oops. I need to swap weapons here. Otherwise, I don't have free flame access. And once we get Sonic Burner... Screw you too, game. Got me all excited. We will, of course, just do the crush attack. That is the It might be one of the ones that you can't actually learn in a battle, or in a duel. There are a handful of those, and it's not always obvious. Quite a few of them are really dumb because they're usable in duels. I know doing a second defend isn't doing anything. I should probably do a heal. Yeah, it's looking like this actually is not viable to pick up. So what I should be doing is Tone Flame, Defend Water. Yeah, I think this just can't be picked up, so it is what it is. I know I had a small amount of luck picking up a few of these after the battle. Fortunately, Bear Crush is nice and easy and, well, 1800 damage. Howling Heaven. Okay. What I should do, if I was doing this the smart way, is I would double check and make sure that it's actually on his learn list. Because I don't know that it is. It's actually pretty much the only thing on, like, Sealmers. Let's see how much this does. It should do enough to kill. Flame list. And we were using Flame a lot with Sealmer. Okay, so it is on Gustav's Tone list, but notably not on his Flame list. That is unfortunate. Also, Howling Heaven is, of course, way more difficult to learn. Do I already have? No. Oh, I'm just blind. Okay. That makes the fact that we couldn't pull it off even worse, if we're being honest, though. And we're just going to be going back to fighting as a team. And I think I'm going to switch his standard initial action to trying to get Sonic Burner off. I don't 100% expect it to happen, but especially in cases like this where everybody's just going to be going before him, and everybody can kill really efficiently. I mean, even Roberto can kill most of these enemies pretty well, and neither his weapon nor his skill levels are the best. doing this, we should provide a definite opportunity to actually get that spell cast. Basically, I'm working to provide Gus every opportunity to do it because Soul Hymn is very useful if you have it. It's not mandatory or anything, but it's a very good spell. Makes things a lot easier. And if we provide every opportunity to do it, we might get it off of a, you know, basically no % chance. Yeah, okay, this is backwards. The way forward is to hit up this ant. Not the ant we just ran into, the ant that's to the left of us. That's the way that I was originally going to be going, but I wasn't 100% certain on it. And you shouldn't hear me complaining about my headphone audio not matching up with what meter is saying, because I switched the cable and it seemed like the cable was the thing that was having the issue. C'est la vie. I think the fights against the ant commanders are probably going to be the ones that actually provide us with an opportunity to do it. I don't know how many ant commanders there are, but I'm thinking about just running down and running into it because realistically there's just not much of a chance. It popping off against normal enemies. And that provides us the opportunity to potentially grab Titus Greaves as well. I don't know how important the ground immunity will be, but I think if we had it on at least one character, it'd be, you know, nice to see it potentially occasionally pop up. Oh. One, that doesn't go anywhere. Two, I was thinking that there was other stuff there. I could have sworn I'd already gone that path. Well, I think that bumps us up a fair amount. That's almost as much as 1,000 chips cashed in. Oh, these guys, these undercovers, they're what has the possibility of dropping the Titus Greaves. Also, Ginny can kill everything else, so I'm really not concerned about it. Those undercovers hit way harder than I was expecting. Mainly because I was thinking they only had a couple hundred health. Like, I'm pretty sure they only have like 400, 500 health. Might be less than that. and just did, 200 health on one of my better defensive guys. Sonic Sanctuary. Okay, that's fine. That's, fairly low on the difficulty list. And it's good to get that shit out of the way anyway. So that it doesn't decide to learn that when we're going up against something that a Soul Hymn has a chance in hell of being learned. He needs to heal. That's the reason I'm doing this. Now, Firebird tends to heal that 333 health basically every time. I'm not sure why it's fixated on that. It might just be trying to do a third of your max health. And the thing was not put in correctly, so it does a third of the potential max. But I'm not going to complain because that's a solid heal. It's not the best damage in the world, but I mean, even for Roberto, that's more than half of his health. That's pretty good. And of course, now I'm reasonably certain I've gotten everything or near everything. Oh, hey. I suspect Ginny will be one of the first to go, so... But I don't know if Sonic Burner will do enough to kill one of those undercovers. Ideally, Firebird would have gone second there, but... Oh! Okay, so... Apparently I was a little bit off with my estimate of them. Oh, apparently I was a lot off. And I'm using the wrong sword with Gus. It's not a big deal. I didn't think he was going to be the first one attacking anyway. And nope. But those undercovers are the thing that has the chance of dropping the Titus Greaves. Obviously I don't have one, so I can't show them off, but they're the only tool shoes. They are... Do I have those equipped on somebody? No, I just never took them back. They are similar in overall quality to the Crystal Wings? I think that is what they're called. But of course, they don't have the Sonic immunity, which, as I've mentioned, is only bad if you have Soul Hymn. And they do not provide a access to a... I don't remember the term anymore. The Titus Greaves provide access to stone. The base version has 60. The fossil beast we fought as Rich could have dropped one that was infinite use. That was probably just an error in the item table, if we're being real honest. It's not a big deal. Not having access to it isn't a big deal either. Because they're good, but they're not great. The major thing that the Titus Greaves do is they make you immune to ground. But I can't remember how frequently that actually comes up. And I think we can pull on these vines that I have been, I don't want to say ignoring, not seeing is a little bit more accurate. Unfortunately, we don't have an easy or good way to actually hit all of these right now. Probably should have swapped which one was attacking which, but I don't think it'll matter too much ultimately. Especially if Ginny gets a lucky as hell deflect. As can be pretty easily seen right now, we do want Ginny to get health, because everybody else has been. Gus hasn't been getting that much, even though he's up front. But it is not Gus. HP is almost entirely random. Ginny does have the best growth, but it's SaGa. Best growth by the relatively small amount that Ginny has is not really a guarantee of anything. But these can be pulled, and sometimes they drop treasure. Sometimes they drop enemies. Case in point. And it's not that I had been avoiding them, it's that I was looking for them and didn't realize what they were. I have no idea what that enemy is. The Fowler. I don't actually expect Sonic Burner to go off, but it might. I don't think it's going to. Something tells me. That something being the fact that Roberto didn't even get to move. And if you pull the things a second time, I don't think anything happens. Oh. I guess I was misremembering. Surprise, surprise. My infallible memory, oh no. I think again we're not going to actually see Sonic Burner go off. Because I think after Dust is going to be Tornado Blade, then it will be Spectral Shot, and then it'll be dead. I probably needed to do Firebird to actually give Sonic Burner a chance. I'm not gonna complain about more HP though. Not when none of these things are actually taking up resources. I think you can tell when it's a double pull, it's a enemy. I don't know what these dogs are. Darn. Well, that very likely spells their doom. Unless they, whoa. Okay. That's a lot more dangerous. So, since I've not been dropping quick saves, arms are a lot more dangerous than I anticipated. Mainly because I didn't remember anything in here being especially dangerous. Well, Ginny got HP. That is the important part. Especially with, yeah, even with that, she is well behind everybody else. On the upside, aside from... I don't think I've seen Gus get sword levels like this. And I believe I've pulled all 4 of these, but we should probably check around and see if there are any additional ones. And I believe these slimes are basically just here so that if you have infinite use weapons, you can just grind the hell out of them. Because they're not dangerous in the slightest. Or at least if that's not the purpose of them being here. I don't know what the purpose of them being here is. Huh. I guess they have just like maybe 1560 or 1600 health, something of the sort. Ginny is definitely, you know, trying to prove that I did the right thing by giving her swords instead of the staves. And it'll take a few scenarios for his replacement weapon to show up, but once it does, that plus most likely the fact that he will still have slightly higher swords will make up for most of the damage difference that currently exists between Gus and Ginny. This will actually probably hurt. Yeah. Double attacks. Even basic ones that aren't doing any damage. Hurt real bad. And of course we're not getting anything special out of these fights, so... one thing I did want to check is make sure I didn't miss any exits or additional vines we could pull. And while normally I would be interested in avoiding fights, this one, because there are not a lot of opportunities for decent grind spots in Ginny's scenario, I'm pretty much going all out on getting as many of the fights as possible. Oh. Well, that's one way to kill those things instantly. I guess they only have 1 LP. And so Prim gets levels in basically everything she just used. Even with hitting these up as much as possible, we are not going to walk away with a pair of Titus Greaves. As I mentioned before, it's really not that big of a deal. Stone Access mostly falls into a fairly similar category as Water Access anymore. Water Access stopped being relevant for the very simple reason of we have, what, 3 lake robes? We have the birch ring. If we want water immunity, the water mirror provides that as well, as do the 3 lake robes and birch ring. Water immunity is, just not that relevant anymore. And water access is pretty much free. Huh. First time in a long time we've seen spells go before anything. And of course, I think this is one of the lowest spark group set of enemies. So... even that's not particularly relevant. It looks like we can go to the right from there. I'll check once we finish the battle. And again, we're not going to get the Sonic Burner off this time. I suspect even if that were to move Ginny behind it... Oh! My expectation was that, that might move Ginny behind him, but Roberto would be in front of him because of the range difference. But I guess that's middle range for both of those, which, while optimal for spears, is bad for both swords and bows. Swords and bows, as well as fist and axe. Basically, the spear range is fantastic and everything else sucks. And I forgot to check out going to the right. But yeah, this is the other half of the room we saw before. Gus really wanted to show his butt off. Yeah, with Tornado Blade going first here, I'm pretty sure Twin Dragon's basically guaranteed to go next as far as our characters are concerned. I'm happy to be proved wrong here, in case it's not obvious. But, this does suggest that maybe the distances are slightly different for this cave. Or maybe Cody has better spear range speed, or even just better speed in general than Prim. It's tough to actually tell. But I think we've gotten everything that's important out of here, and a lot of stuff that's unimportant out of here. And one of the things you want to keep in mind with basically everybody having really high equipment SP totals, the reason why after battles end their SP goes up so high, is that right now only Gus and Ginny have metal weapons, have steel weapons. Theirs isn't going to be meaningfully changing. I don't think that the upgrade to a 53 attack steel weapon changes Gus's SPR or resting SP too much. Prim will need to get something better. Right now she is in a state where once she gets the steel weapon, it'll be a minus 50, and this is currently a plus 20, and so she'll be at 0. It looks like Roberto is also at a state where he will be at 10. Neither one of those is a happy situation. This is one of the reasons why steel weapons can be pretty difficult to actually manage. Especially if you get into a situation where you end up in a longer fight. You need to then mix your physical and hybrid arts back and forth, and even then it can still sometimes be a losing proposition. Okay, I think that Sonic Burner should be faster than Tornado Blade here. And I'm once again proven wrong. Apparently Ginny has just more speed at what should be medium or long range than Gus does. Maybe spells also have that same range modifier and it varies spell to spell rather than having it vary Just, you know, as spells have like a static range or something. It's weird. I think Tornado Blade, once it goes off, will kill everything but the Horned Buffalo. So I think my favorite of the reaction abilities is the bows. It's just, it looks real neat. And then, yeah, it should be Spectral. So, we did not get Soul Hem. That was, you know, that's not unexpected. And now we just need to leave. I'm real good at directions sometimes. I even remembered that going left was the way out. Or at least I did last time we saw this screen. It was the whole reason I turned around originally. There are a lot of fairly dangerous enemies here. This is not the first time we run into the Horned Buffalo. We ran into one in the Vogelon area. That desert. And I think we have... Yeah, we're up to 26,000 credits. I think we had just under 21,000 entering. So we've gotten about 300-ish. I may have misread the number. It's not a big deal. But, one of the reasons why Ginny has so much equipment SP, so much more than anybody else, is that Eternity Staff is really good. It's 30. Yeah, I think I hit up that one there. I will need to do something real quick. Because of course me having set this up as a static thing for about 1 to 4 for oh, what is it? I think it's a little bit over a fucking month now. Almost 2 months. You know, people still can't fucking remember. But that should only take a minute or two. That's weird. I'll put that up now. I don't actually recognize that emote. Also, what's up, Gus? It looks pretty nice. Yep, I went the wrong direction coming down here. Oh, yeah. I didn't see the northwest exit there. I know the odds are against me learning it anyway, so I'm trying to get Gus to learn Soul Hymn. That is almost assuredly starting to put him behind on skill levels relative to Ginny, though. Since I've been trying to learn it for about half this dungeon. On the other hand, nobody seems to actually be getting any skill levels. So. Oh no, Ginny's actually caught up. Okay, so somebody's gonna die. Oddly, SP tends not to matter that much, just because so much of it is the equipment-derived SP. And she's caught up to Gus fully here. And I think that is the exit for this dungeon. Yes, especially that last fight where Gus died. The lack of combos may make that may make the dual swords a little bit more difficult, but yeah. Makes sense. Related to Kelvin. Visibly, demonstrably related to Kelvin. Yeah. Victory, Gustav. One of the things that I don't know how true it is, but one of the things that I read before, and the reason I say I don't know how true it is because I'm pretty sure it was said by Tomomi Kobayashi, who's the artist, not the character designer, is that Gustav was originally planned on having long hair like Gus the 13th. But because they had already done the sprite work and art for Roberto, they were worried about him not standing out in the slightest. So, we are returning to the insect megalith. No. I don't recall if we can actually chip anything here. Probably I'm going to want some more credits. I'll grab another. I should have probably hit up one of the areas where I could chip something. I didn't even check. On the other hand, I can just load the save and not be dealing with a full inventory potentially. Or they could all be unavailable. Roberto's is fairly short. But the sprite at times makes it look kind of like he has a mullet. Particularly from the front. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's not long from the side, but it's possible that it ultimately ended up being a difference between the concept art and how it actually panned out. I do still want those credits. Okay, we actually have a few more spots than I was thinking we did. And I'm never certain how to leave this place. Oh. Probably where the big sign is. And of course this is the same person we needed to talk to advance the scenario with Rich. I always think that we can enter that one. I guess part of that's just, this is kind of an odd area in that there are doors that you can't enter. The budget cuts finally became real obvious at this point. Well, there are also a lot of just kind of minor incidental animations that are replaced with no animation for essentially the same thing in the night scenarios. The incidental animations are present in a lot of the Gus side scenarios. I mean, even with like Rich's scenario, he still had the pixel art to turn Diana around. But it seems like here the extent of pixel art budget for characters was getting maybe a thinking animation for some of them. And I know I didn't fully explore this area. I didn't grab the silver gloves because I was thinking about maybe taking the up. Wait a second. Oh, yeah. It's this level. I was thinking about maybe taking the opportunity to try to learn something with this generation. But I'm not real sure that that's that important. I don't think that the enemy guarding the silver gloves has that much of a better opportunity for its post-fight learning, so it's not even that good for learning Soul Hymn. Not that really anything is. I may still end up giving it a few shots with him, though. There's not a lot of reason not to. I don't remember this enemy, but that's... Insect Megalith did not have very difficult enemies to begin with. A Slayer, huh? I suspect the Slayer would be more threatening if any of his attacks seemed to do damage, but... I don't recall if there's an actual opportunity to fight this guy as a team. I say as the prompt to fight as team is on screen. The problem is I think his flash or whatever it is hugely different dual versus... Oh, I need the other weapon equipped. Like, I think it's one of those things where with it's always weird that Sonic Burner doesn't actually work. Like, I think Bighorn's not even notable as a flash skill or whatever it is. Let's keep a defending there in team battles, but of course has the best in non-team battles. Yeah, I think that this is just the same model as, well, like the Paladin sword and the... Good job there, Gus. And the Cinderforge sword. Probably be doing multi-way since we do know it. Oh, something did more damage there than I was thinking it did. Oh, no, Gustav doesn't actually have the 460 HP. That is Roberto. So, one of the problems is I'm not sure that that the post-fight spark thing has anything to do with the flash skill. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing the party duel difficulty on the list I'm looking at. It's gonna end up being a custom art anyway. I'm not gonna bother with doing an actual thing. Since this has the chance of stunning, it's probably the best one to use. Yeah, and that prevents a whole bunch of damage. Apparently the bighorn got just far enough away to be outside of optimal sword range. that horn swing just puts it a little bit further away than optimal sword range, which is kind of weird. And I did bring it up, that is still one of the best post-fight learn rates. It's just Solheim has an atrocious learn rate. So I'll give it 2 actual tries. And if we get lucky, we'll have more stuns than last time. Of course, we might not even get Heaven and Hell's pulled off, apparently. While I am thinking about it, since I did not get a quick save. I thought I already had the defend. We are really not getting that Heaven and Hell to work. Maybe this will work a little bit better. I don't remember if I learned Headcracker being one of the issues. With Heaven and Hell not proccing, I'm not 100% certain I learned it either. Pretty sure I'm going to be reloading the state at some point in time to try to give this a better shot. Just based off the fact that I've been having bad luck right now. I don't even know that it is 100% possible on this encounter anyway. We didn't get anything out of that. That's actually pretty impressive. And Silver Gloves suck. Providing immunity to the buff I was trying to get. But as we can see back in a party environment, oh, I guess those things are immune to water. That makes sense. The Cinderforge sword looks very similar to the Gustaf's sword. I should probably not be doing the Twin Dragon on these. Or we just missed before? Did I miss the damage on it? That's distinctly possible. I'm pretty sure I picked up the rest of the crap that can be found here. So it's just a matter of getting through. I think much like the prior one, you can just leave right at the start. But this area is relevant to the Knight's family, so... do want to go for maximum story. Especially since I'm pretty sure Ginny had a fair amount of what was intended to go in cut out. That would explain why I didn't remember seeing that. And, interestingly, they do actually leave. Yeah, the enemies over there are still present. I don't remember exactly where we're supposed to go. I meant to just hit the slime, but... fortunately we just have forced duels. And I can actually remember one command for swords. I would not be in the same state with staves. Remembering that this was a distinct possibility was one of the things going through my mind when I chose to give Ginny staves, or swords. Yeah. I think there's one... oh no, that's not the way either. I'm blind. This is the way we're supposed to go. I think it's a, one of the bow commands just looks absolutely ridiculous. and looks even more ridiculous in a duel than it does in a normal fight. And I like this that this lets us bring up the menu. One of the things? Yeah. This did screw with the rolls and everything else. Because of course it did. Still don't know what that means. Like, I'm certain I could look it up in a walkthrough or guide or something, but... Since this has two of the better enemies in it, as far as this stuff goes, I am going to try at least to, I didn't drop a quick save, so it's not going to be recursive or anything, but I'll give it a shot this go around. I have recovery water on everyone, so that should not be that big a deal. That's not it. Grabbed the wrong sword there for Gus's stuff. Not sure the healing really mattered, since I don't think the worm's going to get a turn, but... yeah, well, it didn't matter, but... yep. No soul hymn from that. I think some of the later fights are even better, but might just have to get it off screen. Actually, I'm not 100%. Do we just leave now? Sometimes the endpoints for the night scenarios are confusing to me. it's off to continue Rich's actions. And we get to see the best version of Will's sprite. I do like that this is in-game confirmation that, in all likelihood anyway, the fake Gustav is not rich. And I was thinking this was also where we were introduced to Mathia, but I could be incorrect. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an opportunity to chip stuff there, and I just, you know, blew it. And it's odd to me that this... You know, this, I am going through chronological order, so technically this has not happened. The event in which this happens is the next in chronological order. I always forget there's actually a decently strong spear, because there's no reason to ever get at this point, the non-paladin stuff. I suspect that it's... Well, it could be either, but it could also just be that the time difference is due to travel time. I was hoping there was another shop I could enter. I need to go grab a little bit more water. I'll be right back. My problem ultimately with that is always I grab a fairly small glass because I assume, oh, I'll just drink the, 12 ounces or so. And then I go through that in like an hour because I don't start as hydrated as I should be. I like the design of Mathia. I like her sprite. But man, is she bad. Yeah, we don't have access to that stuff again. And like I said, I'm trying to keep the chronological, or at least what the problem is her base stats are axe-oriented. Axes aren't even on par with like the level 35-ish weapons that we've just seen. And, well, there's no reason not to show off, Gustav. And there's Gustav, and a Steel Soldier, and Sargon. There's also 2 generic soldiers. I'll just move them. 3 generic soldiers. I'll just move them out of the way. Assuming I did not unequip Sargon stuff, which I didn't have any reason to because I never gave him anything worthwhile. Can't quite kill everyone right now. Unfortunately, his other units are just standard spear soldiers. But more than enough to take everything here out with ease. Oh, Sargon's gonna lose one of his guys. Maybe 2. No, not 2. Of course, Sargon's the only actual important part of his unit, so... I'm not sure if anybody's going to attack... Oh, they are going to attack Gustav straight up. Gus, of course, has Steel Soldiers and 41 LP. They really wanted to make sure that you could not accidentally lose by LP damage. Also, his Gelatine is a unique sprite. I believe it's supposed to be the name of the sword given to Gawain by the Lady in the Lake. If I'm recalling my mythology and such correctly. Ultimately, I'm not 100% certain that even if they all focused on one of these soldiers, steel soldiers, that 4 enemies could take out a single one, so... I know in theory, or, you know, even in practice, this is a cakewalk. But I'm not sure if it's, you know, really possible to lose one of your... even a steel soldier unit. And Charles just has generic units. Oh, they're guards instead of the even more generic soldiers, but... And I do like that very helpfully shows that archer damage is just static. Oh, we're not going to wipe Charles out this time. Didn't do quite enough damage. It does make me curious as to how much HP those Jade guards have, though. So, this group was presented with its best opportunity to take out a single one of the steel soldiers. And got windmilled out of it. I just know that I'm never going to get that lucky with windmills when it comes to Battle of South Moundtop, though. Of course, the fact that they attacked with the archer unit first means we don't even start with that, what it would be, 45 health to start, which means they could have plausibly taken out 2 soldiers. Yeah, 3 maybe if they got real lucky. problem, of course, being that I don't think it's... Even if they manage to line everything up and attack Gus with everybody, they would need a lot of consecutive battle bonuses to make him killable. I really like this music track, though. And I rather like that bit of politics there by David. Well, it is the Lordless Land for a reason. It makes sense that we can't do a thing after that, otherwise we would see that the Galatine does not have a proper item description. In this case, I'm still very tempted to do Battle of South Moundtop first. It's technically out of order, but... it's probably going to take a while to begin with. Even with using the quote-unquote exploit strat. And given that this is supposed to be from a historical retelling, something like 1,000 years after the fact, I like the whole calling this the most important battle, or most important thing. One thing that is slightly unfortunate is that the other Edelritters are not given names. Also, I think even though Sargon says infantry there, he has actual troops. I'm only going to give this one shot. If it happens, it happens. I don't recall exactly what I want to do here. I know I don't want to get to here. And I want to have things lined up. I think this one's probably going to fail just by result of me not remembering what I want to do. Get the original position. Okay, so I was apparently misremembering. They are still rangers, though, not the standard soldiers. Well, that's pretty lucky, but that's death. This might be a... oh no, we got... no. That was the thing that I remember being the issue with Rangers. So this isn't a guaranteed wipe per se. A guaranteed loss, I should say. But it's effectively over. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I knew what the hell I was doing or anything of the sort. But I will say that Flame Naga sucks. And the 4 Edelritters have 4 units capable of doing Flame Naga, which can kill via 2 ways. It can just straight up do more than 100 damage. It can do LP damage. It also has the distinct possibility of certain formations. Some of the time, you will just have all 4 of your people in range of Flame Naga. Needless to say, those don't end up well for you as the player. I think double slash tends to be the weakest attack they use, so. Having the opportunity to take out half of them is actually a pretty good opportunity. can't wipe us out this turn, so we're actually in a decent shape. I don't think that actually killed that guy, so this was free. Yeah, Torres also is down to 2 units, but I can't easily get archer support on it. That is... okay, so that's only one guy down. That makes that effectively free still, it just eats into the reserves. Oh, I think I screwed up though. Because I think that will get them to start moving. No, no. It's probably better because we do have the archer support to do lawnmower. But I like the fact that Flame Spear very consistently kills. We're getting extremely lucky here. And it seems like the Flame Spear, as it is kinda typed as a hybrid art, is less likely to be blocked. Now, that was not the Edelritter, though. That was the standard infantry. Edelritter went after the archer. I'm real tempted just to defend with everybody. Because that's more likely to put us in a situation where we won't be have this group wiped out. And no deaths makes that a viable one to now. Can't remember if it's turn 3 or turn 4 we want the okay. think it is next turn. And if I am incorrect, then it'll be over before you know it. That did not go the worst, but it did not go the best. That went awful, though. The easiest way is going to be just attack with the archers. I can't 100% remember if we can walk through our own units. I think we can, which means we'll be able to get the consecutive battle on this, but if we can't, this might essentially end up being another game over situation. And of course, Lawnmower's not actually killing against these. Well, no reason to change strategy here. Lawnmower does provide us the best opportunity. I think it does tend to go a little bit quicker. And we are in about as good of position as you can be here. I believe these start moving next turn. Now what we are going to be doing is letting them walk into us. And just defending. Now, we might be able to, on some occasions, take one out. But the defending means they can't take out more than two, and they need to focus on those two for it to work. Yes, that unit got pushed back. The archer support's not really important. The main reason I want to have the archers there is just so that all units are within a position to potentially move back. So, again, they can only take out one. One is a loss of 0. I believe the archers are a little bit easier to kill, but this is basically ideal position. This is the position the game wants you to be in. I have previously played hours upon hours to get it into this position. Provided we keep defending, I don't think the game will... I was curious if we were going to get pushed back or they were. What I was going to say is provided we keep defending, I don't think the game is going to... I probably want to have David keep falling back. Put us in a position where we're going to lose. Because I think I calculated it out the correct way, and we needed to go aggressive on, well, step up to the fake Gustav on that day. Day 4 for this retreating strategy to be viable. The archers are more likely to die, but it's still not that bad. The steel soldiers are not as dangerous to your entire unit. Yeah. The steel soldiers are not quite as dangerous to your entire unit as the rangers are. And I lucked out absurdly with the rangers, with them only doing multiple flame nagas really that first time around. But just keep in mind, rush decreases damage you receive by about half. So normally you're getting wiped out. And I think one of the reasons they didn't include a Gus sprite was to try to make it a little bit more viable that you could actually do the fight if you didn't figure out the retreating strategy I'm doing this time. Because we're turn 6, turn 7 will be here, turn 8 will end here. And I think this is the... yeah. We're actually... I think we're doing a little bit better than we need to be. I've had weird things happen with death just popping up, so if they couldn't retreat directly backwards. That, and because these soldiers only have 100 health, I think. I think they wanted it to be possible for you to win direct combat against one of them, or at least take one of them down. Problem, of course, is you're only going to take one of them down, and that's going to be replaced at the end of their turn. And I'm actually getting really lucky even in these fights. I think I'm at the point, though, where even if they went all out, killed 2 units, and were able to knock out a unit entirely, we just have too many units still alive while doing the correct strategy. And getting absurdly lucky in the fights that actually mattered, and some of which didn't matter. But no reason to get cocky and change up the strategy now. I believe one of the reasons these guys do so much damage is that they are using just straight up steel spears, which are of course 30-ish attack versus the 13 of the light spears. Or we might be using like the 7 attack wood spears. I don't fully remember. Or of course the 6 attack stone knife or the 13 attack ranger bow. Either one is significantly weaker than what the steel soldiers wield. Yeah, my guess would be that just prior to Gus's steel army, nobody really focused on having a army that was only using weapon arts. I suspect that it was a mix of hybrid arts, some of which just aren't available in gameplay due to reasons of the animations and everything else takes time. And just a lot of people ended up, were using spell arts and such. Of course, none of the armies that you use have anybody that can use spells, so it's kind of weird. Also, last time I did this, it took a handful of attempts before I even got a shot at a version of the fight where the Edelritters were doing anything other than just using Flame Naga over and over again. I figured that's how it was going to turn out after the first fight. And instead, of course, we get a successful South Moundtop in 30 minutes. And I say successful because the only thing we need to do is keep them out of the lower two squares, and they can't get to the lower two squares. Because I think it's end of this turn when this soldier's turn ends. So does the fight. We had a lot of those fights where we didn't even need to use reserves, which is kind of crazy. I've never been that lucky before. Because normally, even when I have the line set up, a single wipe would have resulted in a loss, because normally I'm still dealing with one of the Edelritters or that soldier off on the edge. Of course, there's a little bit that's untrue there. a certain amount of what Gus did achieve was because of the fact that he was of noble birth rather than of common birth. Well, I mean, you know, he did that first try, just like I did on stream. His luck is absurd. And I'd like to note, I originally did that because I figured that, you know, getting an attempt or two in would take an hour. Because I don't remember the 2 Gustav Stronghold scenario at all. So I wasn't sure if it was one of the really long night scenarios. And I believe rather than showing this in chronological order, they do it by the order you played them in. I know in the final one where they show these, it's the order you played them in. So there will definitely be a few that are very out of order, because when I was replaying it, I got the order wrong a few times. I wasn't playing it with my notes out, so. I was thinking it didn't show the secret scenarios when it was going through. Really, the fact that so much of this is kinda understandable even without text is because there's a fair amount of incidental animation there. also find it very interesting that Philippe III never really did anything of note. Yeah. I do like the way the game kind of plays with your expectations as far as lineages go, though. In most games, it would be okay. Gustav the 13th was your major character. Your future, characters are going to be dealing with his kids. Well, that doesn't happen. Everybody around him respects him too much to name any of their kids after the Gustav lineage. But after a few generations, it's kind of just a mythical name again. Definitely. Yes, I suspect that's one of the reasons why Gustav is going by Gustav instead of... I am assuming that he is actually Gustav the 15th, which is why I, stated everything about him being called as the 15th. So weird, actually, having, Battle of South Moundtop done before it's the only option I have left to continue. And based off what we've seen in-game, it wouldn't be just a single one of the imposters. It would be a whole bunch of the imposters, all of the imposters. And of course there is a certain amount of irony in the fact that, well, Maythea kinda sucks. Swap her in for Will, just since Will is more likely to actually see the party, just so he can get additional HP. Of course, one of the problems is she doesn't start with good weapons, and there just aren't that many good axes anyway. armor is out of date, and the things she brings with her are martials. Yeah. Like, she will see fighting just because there are 2 dual bosses that use your spare members, but she's not going to be a main party member because she really doesn't need to be. She doesn't need any additional health. She's in a perfectly fine state right now. And of course, this is the entertainment district. I don't think we ever are in a spot where we can actually talk to that bald guy. Any of the times his sprite has shown up. And the Paladin Spear. Oh, we actually already have him in the party. I think overall it's probably best to keep the Ice Stone on her for most parties. Yeah, I mean... Oh, apparently the Paladin Spear is only a -30. That is not near as bad as I expected. That's probably gonna kill you, guy. And none of the rest of this stuff is at all worthwhile just because it's all steel as well. And this is also a blacksmith district. I did not recall them looking different, so... And a steel bow. I don't recall actually even swapping out the I think even that's viable. But it's not necessary unless we get a soul him. For whatever reason, I was thinking the entertainment district had a equipment reclaimer. It might be that this scenario just does not have another equipment reclaimer easy. Or it might be in the commons? No, because this is the end of the scenario. Well, this is the end of us still having access to shops for this. So the logical assumption here is, in addition to... Oh, I don't actually have my party set up. Oh, that, the beast from his other weapon was actually being used by stuff. Things are already going excellently. It's fine, I just need to actually take a little bit of time to set them up. I have beast quells that are not being used. I'm just glad we get this this music. Also, if I hadn't done this, I wouldn't be able to show off Maythia's end of battle sprite. It's pretty good, even if her stats and, well, weapon growths and such suck. I'm not gonna bother with setting her up. I am going to get Gus back in the party. I don't know why it stopped scrolling there for a sec. I don't know why I have a spring orb on him. Actually, the bone gloves would probably be the best, since that'll give him beast access as well as be good defensively. And she has fire and water, that's really all she needs. Didn't change any. Yeah, that provides beast as well, so. I know that there are a few things in here. None of them are really that relevant. Wild Rose is okay. Snake Staff would be okay. Got heavy armor. It is... Well, I'm gonna just discard it because we can't ship steel stuff. I'm also gonna ship these silver gloves. Discard, rather. The Hydra Suit would be useful. It is one of the few items that actually just nullifies poison. Yeah, Will is in not the worst spot if we need to level him up. We have access to Vogelong and the Ghoul Tower and such after this. It's either after this scenario or after the next one, but I think it's after this one. And even if we just end up using him as is, I believe he's strong enough for almost anything we would end up using him for. Because he's strong, he just lost all of his aging HP bonuses. Which, because the enemies he was facing were not the strongest anyway, puts him at a fairly large HP disadvantage. Although if I hadn't screwed around so much in the Ginny's adventure scenario, there's a distinct possibility that Ginny would be at a fairly similar HP level. This was not the best set of levels for Will that I've ever gotten, so. But he's still competent, if nothing else. I think it's the horns that make me like it so much. And I know that the, well, one Quell sword we're missing is available somewhere here, but I can never remember exactly where. I know it's once we see a large tree we want to go over to it, but and I think that large tree is also one of the better opportunities to learn Soul Hymn. Oh, that would explain something. I was wondering why Roberto didn't seem to be doing any additional damage. Ginny seems to be following the luck I had with Rich really strongly. I wasn't expecting Rich to end up being any good with swords because he never ends up any good with swords. Also, it's looking like if I do end up replacing somebody in the final group, it will probably end up being Prim. Her low spear level is really hurting her. I think it's off to the right somewhere, and I think it's basically right below us is where the Beowulf fight is. I didn't even know there was ghouls in this area. Head over there, I do want to make sure that I'm not, Huh. Is it even... Oh, no, it's on the right side here, I'm thinking. Fortunately, aside from the commander, the ant commanders, none of these are especially dangerous. So of course everything does have a lot of health. Am I misremembering? Here we go. Crime and Deity. We fought the Evil before that had a recolored version of these sprites. Screw you too, game. suspect this is one of the, or I was thinking this was one of the fights to do it on, but... I'm not seeing it on the list. I'll give it a shot just in case. Or not. And Beowulf's kinda useful as a defensive weapon. Since Roberto doesn't have a real use for tone, he could equip it. It would be a... even though they're both quells, it would be a drop of 10 on the base SP though. I don't think he can really do that too well. I might be misremembering, but I don't remember anything else of note being here. Okay, that's not entirely true. There is this fight, which is why I dropped a quick save, but... Hey, it garmed. I think this is the fight we want for. Learning the soul him. And eventually I'll want to get some all-out combos figured out for this group. Those tend to be more focused around the physical side attacks. Even triple's pretty good. And we still did some more damage just because of the higher skill level of everything we were using. I don't remember exactly how much health the Fire Lord here has. It's a lot, but we have full LP on everybody, so we don't have much reason not to use it if anybody's looking even slightly low. I was able to get a triple combo off a single time, but after hitting Turtle Killer on it, just the normal attacks were doing the same amount of damage. I do think that is going to be it for this time, though. At least partially so I am not going too late to be able to make food myself. So, thank you for watching. Happy New Year to you as well. And I'll be back with more of this Friday. I should probably actually do the end scene if I'm doing that again.